coldest place on Earth is secretly the hottest political battleground. Beneath a sheet of ice 2 miles thick lies a treasure trove of oil, gas, rare earths, and fresh water. Enough to redefine power, profit, and climate in a single era. And with the world inching closer to 2048, the deal that kept it peaceful may be about to break. Welcome to Antarctica's silent fight for the future. Antarctica, a remote white desert crowned with glaciers and surrounded by sea. Since 1959, it has been governed by the Antarctic Treaty, a landmark agreement that declared the continent a natural reserve devoted to peace and science. Deutsche Welle. For decades, nations worked under the treaty's banner, collaborating in research, sharing stations, mapping the ice. But even as scientists drilled cores and measured climate change, geologists were asking a different question. What lies beneath the ice? What if the frozen ground below holds not just snow and secrets, but the keys to the next era of energy and war? Picture the vast Ross ice shelf, a shimmering plateau of white stretching over 1 million square kilometers. Wind sweeps across the surface, swirling snow in ghost-like drifts. Underneath, ancient rock formations, hidden by age and ice, carry minerals and hydrocarbons formed when Antarctica was part of the supercontinent Gondwana. Up the trans-Antarctic mountains, coal seams and layers of iron ore hint at a past lush world. And around the coast, under the frigid blue sedimentary basins reach deep, potential reservoirs of oil and gas, locked since the Cretaceous. Above all, one truth dominates. This vast, frozen wilderness may be Earth's last untouched frontier, for now. Geologists and strategic analysts have laid out the prospect. Antarctica likely holds petroleum and natural gas reserves, locked beneath continental shelves such as the Ross Sea and Weddell Sea. Deutsche Welle. Moreover, rock outcrops in regions like the Lasman Hills reveal mineral-rich zones of boron, phosphate, and base metals. One estimate suggests the continent contains 500 billion tons of oil and 500 billion tons of natural gas. Deutsche Welle. And then there's fresh water. Ice sheets store over 70% of Earth's fresh water. Unlocking it would shift global power. Australian Civil Military Centre. These numbers spark dreams and alarms. If access is gained, nations could tap into an era of resource dominance. But the cost, environmental, logistical, geopolitical, could be immense. The Antarctic Treaty historically froze territorial claims and banned resource extraction in the interest of science and peace. Wikipedia. Crucially, the 1991 Madrid Protocol added a prohibition on mineral resource activities other than scientific research. Yet beneath the surface, fractures appeared. Some nations pushed for redefining scientific exploration. Others quietly increased research stations near resource-rich zones and scheduled for review the year 2048, when the current ban on mining could be revisited. That looming deadline has transformed Antarctica from a frozen laboratory into a quiet battlefield of interests. Consider the players: the United States, with a major presence at McMurdo and interest in energy security; China, rapidly building research stations and asserting polar influence; Russia, flooding the Arctic and eyeing Antarctic possibilities; Australia and New Zealand claiming adjacent zones yet dependent on global fossil fuel markets. Each unit of ice, rock or sea may become a strategic asset. The stakes: access to rare earths for clean tech, fresh water for growing populations, hydrocarbons for energy transition. Underneath, the logic is clear. Whoever controls Antarctica's resources could reshape 21st century power. This is not open warfare, not yet. Instead, there's satellite imagery of drilling rigs being surveyed, covert science expeditions mapping sub-ice basins, and naval maneuvers tracking icebreaker routes near claimed sectors. Nations classify these as pure research, but the margin between science and resource scouting is razor sharp. Consider this: the Lasman Hills, already noted for unusually high mineral abundance, lie within overlapping national interest zones, or the Ross Sea Sedimentary Basin, marked as a possible future hydrocarbon field. The iceberg of contestation? It's years away from surfacing, but under the cold, white surface, movement is already underway. Mining Antarctica isn't like mining old ghost towns. The continent's fragility is extreme. Ice sheets act as freshwater reservoirs and global sea level regulators. Disturbing them could trigger melt feedback loops. Extraction operations would generate vast waste, require massive logistics, and risk oil or chemical spills in marine ecosystems never designed to absorb them. Moreover, opening extraction could undermine other climate goals. Exporting fossil fuels from Antarctica could clash with global decarbonization. Some scientists argue the real value might lie not in mining, but in preserving Antarctica as a stable climate buffer. Every ton of ice that melts, every ecosystem destabilized, raises the question: are resources worth the risk of driving a global tipping point? As 2048 approaches, the world holds its breath. The treaty review could open the door to mining. Alternatives loom. Some propose reforming the system to guarantee environmental protection. Others prepare for competitive access. In this moment, a continent long dedicated to peace and science stands at a crossroads. Will it remain a sanctuary or become a battleground of resource might? Decisions made today will ripple through decades. What Antarctica teaches us is paradoxical. In the whitest, most inaccessible land lies the darkest possibility of human ambition. Here, neutrality is temporary. Preservation is at risk. And the resources we imagine may cost more than we're ready to pay. If nations begin to dig, drill, extract, they will reshape not only Antarctica, but the global balance of power, climate stability, and future generations. But beneath the ice there might be something deeper still, something older than coal, rarer than rare earths, hiding in the subglacial lakes and ancient rock layers. What if the real treasure isn't fossil fuels or minerals, but a legacy of life that Earth nearly lost? That's coming up next, here on Earth's Hidden Frame.